I've mentioned in the previous post the growth of the cult of the Virgin Mary during the Gothic period, and this sort of trend was in particular influenced by Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. Saint Bernard was a key figure in the formation of the Cistercian order, and I've also told earlier the Cistercians' goal was to return to the strict observance of the St. Benedictine rule, and St. Bernard, by the way, opposed whatever turned a person away from God, and including decorative elements in churches, as he considered them as distractions from monks' devotions. And thus he contributed to the development of a style, Cistercian architecture, which was characterized by rather discreet ornamentation, and but also by the use of Gothic architectural elements. So a lot more can be said about Saint Bernard, since he was a very influential religious person of the Middle Ages. He traveled and preached in different places in Europe. He founded a lot of monasteries, and his works circulated widely during the medieval times. However, regarding the Virgin Mary, his devotion to her manifested in particular in homilies in praise of the Blessed Virgin, and in other works, and also in his emphasis on the idea that the Virgin Mary shared Jesus Christ's saving work as mediatrix. All of this led to the further popularization of the cult of the Virgin Mary, and more prayers and hymns were dedicated to Mary and were written for popular use, although that had happened for centuries. And so, in addition to sculptures and stained glass windows, I'd like to tell about two more artworks dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The first one is known as the Virgin of Paris. This elegant sculpture demonstrates the further humanization of religious figures, and its tone is less solemn and more tender. Christ is portrayed like a human child, and he's playing with his mother's veil, and also both figures are richly attired and look like a worldly queen and prince. And another artwork, wonderful artwork, is a luxurious silver gilt statuette known as the Virgin of Jean d'Evreux, and it was also a reliquary, and its features like the posture of Mary, drapery patterns, and again the humanization of religious figures. So it's a delicate and intimate character, and the role of Mary as the Queen of Heaven, because initially she wore a crown. All these features recall those of the Virgin of Paris, and Mary also holds a scepter in the form of the fleur de lis, a French, which was a symbol of the French monarchy. So check the sources and listed in the comments and on the website.